So the first spot, Shanley Hotel, I'm in the parking lot. I always bring a rosary. And this time I have 2 rosaries. I'm season 2, I need more. As I'm pulling it out, the crucifix on the rosary falls off.
Not even Jesus wants to go into the Shanley Hotel. Hey everybody, do us a quick favor and hit follow and smash that like or subscribe button wherever you're listening right now. It'll help us keep getting great guests and make it so you don't miss the next episode. Now on with the show. All right, we are live.
Yeah.
Hey everybody. Let's get to the public chat. See who jumps in first. What's up, folks? We might have a little surprise for you because we're not going to be on Stand Up Paranormal today. There's some technical issues. You want to watch it? It's time you migrate over.
Well, that's what I'm letting the good people know. There we go. Now you have my full and undivided attention. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, we're getting bodies in. There's slowly but surely there's a few people coming in across the board.
Okay.
We're going to do another piece today with news reporter Kristie Reeter's coming back on.
Ah.
Now, if you remember, Karina, number 1, first one in on the YouTube. Kristie, by default, was the first one in on Instagram, but that doesn't count. She's our guest today. Kristie is a news reporter for News 12 out of New York in the tri-state area, and I don't know what she was thinking. I bet she didn't think when she went to journalism school she was going to be doing ghost hunting, but she got herself wrapped up in this world.
Yep.
And I guess, unfortunately for her, it's working in the ratings as they made her do it again.
Oh.
So she visited 4 new places. She went to Kingsland Manor in Nutley, New Jersey, the Back Room, a speakeasy in the middle of New York City, the Russell Library in Middletown, Connecticut. Never even heard of those 2. And the place we know very well, the Shanley Hotel in Napanoch, New York. So Kristie's in our waiting room. Let's give it a couple more seconds here for other people to get in. And then we'll bring Kristie in and we'll talk about it. Because I'm curious to know, now she's getting in it. She's not like grazing in it.
Yeah, now she's getting it.
She's in it, dude. She's investigating. And it's looking good. Like she goes there with a team of local paranormal investigators. She gets the history of the place. They do it I don't know how long they're there, probably for like a night. They do the investigation. And then she actually, on their show, they bring in skeptics. Okay, what could this be? Right?
Yeah.
I really want to talk to you about that because I'm very curious if it's changed her mind or not. And then, she's doing real investigating. She's out there doing real investigating and ride-alongs with crazy ghost people like us. What's up, Jacqueline? Welcome. All right, we got people in. I'm going to bring in Kristie Reeter from News 12, and we're going to talk about her latest adventures on the Haunted Tri-State.
All right, cool.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
Kristie, welcome back.
Good to see you all. I cannot believe we're already talking about season 2.
I can't believe you did a season 2. It's my first. It's one of those things where I want to know, was it a situation where the producers were like, Kristie, this worked. We need to send you back out on 4 things. And you were like, shit.
Yes, that's exactly how it went down. No, I mean, so many people liked it. So many people tuned in, and maybe, kudos to, maybe it was your guys' show, maybe me appearing on that. I think it just shows that so many people have like a curious side to all of this, and whether it's the history that brings them in, or the paranormal people, or maybe it's the skeptics. They like something, from it. But we got some really good YouTube views on the News 12 Originals YouTube channel. So, we were like, let's do more. And we are already talking about season 3 coming up in the fall, and we're going to double the episodes. So.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, you got yourself a tri-stater right here. And guys, for those of you who are unaware, you can find all this. Just type in Haunted Tri-State on YouTube, and you can see it. It comes out of News 12 in the tri-state area. And just because you may not live there, doesn't mean you either A, haven't heard of these places, or if you're watching this, then you're interested in the paranormal. So you'll like some of these spots. And if you're just tuning in, because people sort of roll in here on the live, we were saying that you're doing some real investigating out there. You're doing some real ride-alongs, man. It's like, you're getting the history in 20 minutes. You get the history. It's really well done, by the way. I watched, and we'll get into it a little more in a second. But you get into the history of the place. You show some of the highlights from the investigation, and then you bring in this skeptical angle towards the end of it. It's a nice package for sure.
Yeah.
Kristie, what? Now that you're into it in season 2, it's all done, right? You've all the 4 new ones are in the can?
Yep. Okay. Yesterday we had the last new episode air. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Got it. What has your relationship and how has that changed with the paranormal for season 2? Did any, like, going into it the second time, how are you more prepared? What was your outlook this time?
Definitely more prepared. I remember the first one we did, we were all like, what's going to happen? And I was so scared. But now I look at it more. I mean, I've always looked at it as an assignment, but now it's really like, you're like, you're trying to get into everything, but then also you're thinking, okay, are they getting this camera angle? Which camera guy do I need to look at? And it's all organic too. Nothing's like, so it's like, I got to look in the moment. We don't want to miss anything. So I feel like I'm looking at it more of like, from last season to this season, I'm looking at it more of like, okay, how can we make sure we're telling the story that's what's happening here, in the moment better? But then the paranormal side, I'm getting freaked out. I will have to say, I was talking to our social media crew and they were like, hey, do some videos where like, behind the scenes, people really want to see this stuff. I'm like, okay. So the first spot, Shanley Hotel, in Hudson Valley. John, you're probably familiar. Well, yeah, Gary, you too.
John's very familiar with it. He goes there all the time.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm in the parking lot and I'm telling everyone, okay, this is what I keep in my bag. This is what I bring to these things. And I always bring a rosary. And this time I had 2 rosaries. I'm just, I'm season 2. I need more.
She got Jesus in her pocket. Let's go.
So I'm pulling out the rosary and I'm looking at the camera like, oh, here are the things I bring. And as I'm pulling it out, the crucifix on the rosary falls off.
Oh,
and I'm like, and then I like stopped the video. I should have like kept the video going, but I wanted to find it and I found it and I put it back together. And then the next video was like, not today. I'm bringing this in.
Not even Jesus wants to go into the Shanley Hotel.
Yes. So I was that was scary. And then we like finally had something happen where an object was moving and that really freaked me out. That was in episode 2 at the Kingsland Manor in Nutley.
Is that the portrait, right?
The portrait, yeah. And we were upstairs, just opening a portal. And at the same time, downstairs, like the producer ran up and was like, you guys, there's a picture moving. And I was like, what, like on the wall? And, of course, you're like, they looked around. It was a cold night, but there weren't any vents. You're trying to like, I was freaked out.
So if you were going to rank like your skepticism on a scale of 1 to 10 in season 1, where would it wind up in season 2?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I guess it's pretty equal, I guess. Yeah. I think I was always scared. I think I was just so scared that I didn't even want to like really delve into everything in the first season. Like I was so guarded. Where now I'm like a little bit opening up, but I'm still like, whether I think I hear something or not, I'm just like, I don't want to bring anything home.
Okay.
That's my.
All right, but that's a belief, right? That's a real belief.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, what did you see? I know we talked about, you just said it, like the picture moved. Was that the most unexplainable thing you saw in this season?
Yes. Yeah. I think the picture moving. Yeah. That was something that was like, what? How did that happen? Like you can't, there were no vents. And it was something we couldn't really get into in the episode just because, timing, but we did do some social posts on that. We had one of those heat guns, or the temperature monitors. And whenever we, if you put it on an object, a not living object, it would just be green. But anytime we put it on that picture, it was red. And that freaked me out. Something's going on there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. A thermal gun. I think thermal.
Yeah, sure.
I'm still learning all the lingo, But
that's usually interesting, right? Because it's usually the red.
Yeah.
Does the red represent there's heat there?
Yes. And then when we would touch if we would touch it, it would go green, which is weird because your hand's on it. You would think red because the person. So that was an odd night. It was like one of the coldest days of the year. We were doing it. And in this season too, I think you see there's a lot of more raw moments. I think, all of us, we're all, the news background. So I think we were always like very polished on everything. But then we realized like some of the raw moments are what make it. So in that night when the picture was moving, we had this woman with us, Brianna. She was a part of the paranormal team and she's an empath. And so sometimes things get really heavy for her and she just has to like step outside.
Yeah, she started crying out there.
What? Yeah, she
started crying out there.
So she like ran out and, I think maybe in the last season we would have just been like, oh gosh, but I was like, guys, get the cameras. I literally went over to our crew was like eating dinner, like the pizzas, and I was like, guys, get your cameras, And so we ran outside. You can hear in our audio, it's like, who has a coat, because it's so cold out there. But I think moments like that, even though it's not perfect, it's not like we got the tripod out and we set up the lighting and everything. I think that is what really kind of pulls viewers in because they're like with us in that experience. So that was a crazy night.
And that's good reporting too. I mean, that's good journalism. I mean, you want to get there and record it and capture it and just try to do it. And that's a lot of this time in this space. You want that because when it's edited and overproduced, then you're going to start getting like, oh, it's, it's faked, people don't like it. So it is weird. The amount of coincidences. What I like about, well, before I get to that, what about your crew this time around? Is it the same crews you had in season 1?
No, we upped it. We're moving on up. Look, we have more people. Actually, there was this one shoot. We had like 3 photographers, and we're like, oh my gosh, we've never had this. But we have more people, just helping us get all the angles because a big thing was like, we want Kristie's reaction to all this. People keep telling me, they're like, I just want to tune in to see how many faces you can make.
Sure.
So, so we up the crew and we all go out and, I think that really helps too, having all the different angles. So we'll have like, a producer stay down with, one group and then another group. So that's been, it's nice to have a lot of people on the project.
Now, were any of them skeptics and how are they handling all of this?
Well, one photographer, Mike, he had always wanted to go like on his shoot, but his schedule hadn't allowed it. And then, so he went with us to like, I think almost all of them, but he, when we went to the Shanley Hotel, he was getting a shot and going, he's really creative with shots. So he was like going up the stairs and he felt, like somebody like kind of pushed him, like kind of, and that was like wild. And
going up to the second floor to the third floor or the first floor to the second floor?
Yeah, it was like the first floor to the second floor where there was like a brothel area.
Okay. So that's the other,
the addition to the Shanley.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really freaky. And then we had one of our other photographers, John, have a really like emotional connection to one of the shoots when we were at the house where the picture was moving. He, we were in the basement where it was like a speakeasy at one point in time, and we were asking different questions kind of it was the end of the night and we were asking questions kind of towards like the people that live there. Like, okay, I guess apparently money might've been hidden there, where's the money, this and that. And then, I said, oh, does anybody else want to ask a question? And then John, he started to ask, he's like, Mom, if you're there, his mother had passed. Wow. And he, started having, answers started matching up to the questions he was asking. And And he even shared the clip with his family, and they were like, that almost sounds like her voice. So to see one of our crew members
No
have
shit.
this like touching experience. And, you know, whenever we've done all of these, when you talk to the paranormal team, they always say that that's like a big reason why they do what they do. It's when they can connect family members to loved ones, you know, that have passed. And so to see him have that reaction, you know, that was like the first time our crew had gotten that deep, you know. And even when we were, you know, putting it all together and editing it, Denise, one of the producers, you know, like I came over to her desk and she was tearing up even because, you know, it's like we all spend so much time together, and to see somebody have that, you know, it was, and for him to want to share it for the show too, I thought that was neat.
Well, we always hear a lot, you know, you have to really be open to receiving in order for this kind of activity to happen. So then, John, just tell me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like when you have a guy like this who's in this kind of a state, right? He's still grieving over his mom, and these things happen. It makes more sense. It's not coincidence. You know, it's not just he's open.
It's definitely not coincidence, but and listen. Sometimes I can be the villain for the things that I say when it comes to the paranormal. This might be one of those times. There is a chance, and a very big chance, that wasn't a family member. There is a very big chance that was something pretending. And, you know, a lot of these entities like to invoke emotion out of humans for whatever reason. It could be because they want to experience it, because they're feeding off it. There could be many different things that can happen. So it's easy for people to get swept up in the idea that a loved one is coming through, even if answers are matching up. However, it all depends on those answers and the questions and repeated events happening again to be 100% sure. So yes, being open 100%, but also, you know,
but also remember, we're from New York.
We're talking about.
We're all from New York, right? We don't trust the living.
Yeah, we don't trust the living.
We don't trust the living. So, of course, we naturally assume that all these people that are dead are like, is this guy trying to pull some shit over on me? And we don't trust them either.
So true.
That's right. An interesting take, though, John. And now I'm more scared because is it a demon trying to trick us? Okay.
Well, that's the thing. All right. So a demon, of course, anything is possible, right? The way I like to look at the paranormal is probability versus possibility. What's more probable? What's more possible? And if it wasn't a family member, then it was just a spirit pretending to be one.
Assholes alive are still assholes when they're dead.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
That's kind of the thing that we always talk about. Like, some people are just jerks, and their spirits are jerks.
It's
true. I meet more jerks than not, and it's possible that a spirit could be lying, or it could be angry, or it could be toying, and then that gets tossed into the demon bucket. We find a lot.
Yeah, when it comes to cool things like that, regardless, there were questions being asked and responses were happening.
Yeah,
that's the takeaway for me, right? Like, questions were asked, direct responses were happening, which is amazing in itself. And then it poses the question: what are we speaking to?
Yeah.
Kristie, in the 4 places you went to this time, because I've only seen the 2. I only saw the Shanley and the Kingsland Manor.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What for the other 2, and for all 4 of them, really, was there a difference in the type of gear and equipment you used to try to get different reactions, or was there certain things that are more noticeably different in one? Like, something moved in this place, we heard more voices in this place, we felt colder in this place. Like, what was the vibe for all these locations? Yeah,
we used different equipment, like our equipment and the paranormal equipment both were different. We finally got like a night vision camera for this season, which was really cool.
That's cool.
It's nice to have a budget.
And then, so that was different. But yeah, usually on all these different, that's kind of another unique point. You know, the paranormal teams are all different in how they do their things. You know, we have one guy who sketches what comes to him.
So that's cool.
Yeah, right. Richard Michella. So the other two, so you mentioned the other two were the Backroom Speakeasy, which is in New York City, actually the Lower East Side. That was so cool to go there. And Nine Lives Paranormal went there, and they brought the SLS camera. And at that, there were a lot of stick figures, moving all around. So that was different. And then the other one was the library up in Middletown, Connecticut, which immediately already I was like, Ghostbusters, obvious.
Ghostbusters.
Like anytime I'd walk down an aisle, I'm like, oh,
you're looking for an old woman. Yes.
I was.
You're waiting for an old woman to turn around and go.
Yeah. Yes.
So Kristie, out of all the places, which one freaked you out the most?
I think Shanley, because we actually stayed the night there.
Oh, okay. So which room did you stay in?
The men's quarters.
You stayed in the men's quarters.
Yeah,
you stayed in the.
Yeah, they were like, women are, because as we were touring the whole hotel, I was like, this seems the least creepy. Because all the other ones was like apparitions were seen here and there, and the only one in that one, they're like, oh, somebody's shoes moved around. I'm like, that sounds like, and then of course I was like not staying there alone. And honestly, I don't think I would have stayed the night, but it was a really far journey, and the whole crew is like, well, let's stay. And then I'm like, I don't want to be the one person that's like, I'm going to go home. I'm scared. So
I went home. Kristie, I went there with him and I left. There was something like, there was a weird noise in the room. I was there for a couple hours and I'm like, dude, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm like, I'm not staying here anymore.
I had to go to the bathroom so bad in the middle, and I'm like, I'm not going to get up. And and they were like, are you comfortable with us putting a camera like on you while you sleep? I'm like, yes, I want to document that I did this. So, and it didn't really pick anything up, but yeah, me and two other producers stayed in that room. So, that was a long night of filming too. We did.
I get a lot of stuff at the Shanley when I go, like a lot of conversations, a lot of noises, disembodied voices. The one area that everyone is always telling me to check out is the gentleman's quarters. And the one area where I get absolutely nothing, it's probably the most boring part of the stream, is the gentleman's quarters. And I try every time, and Kelly's such a sweetheart. Kelly's like, John, try this, do that. And it's just, it's so strange. The rest of the place is like a lightning rod. The rest of the place, no matter where I go, if I go into the seance room, if I go upstairs, if I go into the brothel, all over the attic, like all over the place. It's
because you're no gentleman. You got to go there dressed in a tuxedo next time. Maybe.
Yeah, right. No, I go with a cutoff T-shirt and.
But wait, we jumped ahead because I don't think, Chris, I really kind of want to know the answer to the first question I asked, which was, did you experience, like, did a certain place give you a different experience, and how was that? Or was it just generally the same, voices cold, in every place?
No. I mean, I think each place was different. I think that, like Shanley, it was more, I feel like the voices, we heard a lot of like it was saying my name, like Kristie. Then the picture moving at the other place. Then, I think each place, it was like a little different. The library, it was a light going off. And we were trying to get into this tower like all night in the library. And she had the right code and it wasn't working. We're like, well, we'll come back. She tried. And we're like, oh, we really want to get in there and film. And then like all of a sudden it just like let her in. And I'm like, that's weird, So things like that, I was like, that's really... Oh, and then in that part too, yes, everything was different. There was like something different, a takeaway from each place. But in that part as well, the library episode, when we were in the basement, a big team of the library came with us, came to watch, the shooting, which was really fun to like have them there, and they could, answer questions. But we were all downstairs and we were trying to, talk, communicate. And then all of a sudden they came up and they're like, hey, we're hearing something. They heard like a handle jiggling. And so we're like, that's weird. And then when I was taping an aside, like, kind of a recap of what happened, I heard it too. And it was just like three of us down here. And one of the producers, Jenny, who I love, she's like, well, let's go over there. I'm like, nope.
No.
No, Bob.
It's like, has Jenny ever seen a movie? You don't go where you hear the noise. It's like, has she ever not seen?
I mean, unless you do what I do, then you run right towards it, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
I think
what's
Jenny's
wrong
even
with her?
watching tonight too.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jenny. So she
Shout out to her, but
TV
it's like, come
better.
on, man. Like, watch a movie. When you hear the noise, go the other way.
But that's what good TV is, and she knows it, and she makes me go. You know,
God love her. Another big part of the show is this. You're talking to these skeptics.
Yes, I
So-
love them.
So yeah, tell me what that's like for you. So you just have do you film it? I assume it's filmed linearly. So it's after you're all done,
Yes.
then you gather, you take a look at the evidence, then you sit with them and say, you show them what you got.
Yeah.
What's that experience like for you? Does it bring you back to earth, or does it make you take the wind out of your sails because they're buzzkills about the whole thing? Like, what's the vibe when you sit down with them?
They're really great. You know, I now, you know, like we know them, and afterwards, you know, in between takes, we get to, you know, we know each other. And honestly, like that's a lot of people's favorite part of the show, because they, you know, for some people, they're like, yes, now bring in these people who are going to set everyone straight. So, you know, so obviously I think it's a crucial part to have them. I think they bring up some good points, and they're kind of making me think, okay, next time around, I need to make sure I do this, this, and this to like be like, well, I did that, or I looked for that, you know, like just like the picture when it was moving, we're like, okay, well, are there any events around it? Are there any this and that, you know? So I always think that's interesting. And you know, they have a good, you know, they're funny too. They're really, you know, and we basically like bring the best clips that we think, and then sometimes I am like, really? But I like their take on it, you know. I think it's good. I think it's important, you know, especially the way skeptics. We're telling it.
Listen, we like skeptics. We've had a couple skeptics on the show. So, you know, you can't, I guess my biggest issue with skeptics is that they do not have a criteria to be convinced otherwise. Yeah. Other than
nothing will ever convince them.
Nothing will, and that to me is as stubborn a belief as anything else. It's not, and we talk about this a lot in the show, right? Like if you're if you're a medical doctor and you're in the United States and you're dealing with a medical doctor in, you know, just pick a nation on the other side of the world, you can send them the reports that you've done on your study. You can say, we've done, you know, a 10,000 person test. We've done double blinds. We've done this, this, and this. Here's the results. That doctor's going to look at this peer-reviewed study. There's a set of criteria that scientists have, and they'll say, well, I guess this is the way. They did it. It works. You know, they're not going to be like, bullshit, you know, and there's nothing in this fringe science in the paranormal world that will convince them, other than unless they see it themselves with their own eyes. And as one, and like Ben, we had a guy, Ben Radford, on, great guy, like really smart, goes on investigations, wants to be convinced. But he's even said, he's like, look, unless the grandfather clock lifts off the ground and flies around me and I can figure out why that's not happening, he's not going to believe it. And I'm like, well, I mean, you know, we're talking about a voice, or when someone says Kristie and you've never been in this place before, you know, and why did that happen not once but twice? And it's like, you know, yes, we could probably explain it to something, but isn't that happening a weird occurrence? And can't we give some kudos to that? And that's my thing with them. So with your crew, is there anything about them that you think would ever change their minds from what you show them, or would they have to be there to be convinced? What do you think?
I don't know. We've talked about like, oh, do we bring them along too to something? But then there's the logistics of like, it's already hard enough to schedule everyone's schedules. Yeah, sometimes I have them like, what do you need? But yeah, maybe it is just the moment you have to be in. But I do think it's important to get their side, you know.
I'm not against it, because they certainly bring up other things. I just say they're just unfun. I think it's very easy. The thing
they
is,
are really fun people, though.
No. I don't mean that. I mean skeptics in general.
No,
I mean debunkers in general,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
Because the whole thing is, I know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
That's, for me, they're just going to say no. Mm-hmm. Like no matter what I ask, they're going to say, no, it's not this. Right. So for me, it's always, that's a predictable thing. And I might, you know, they'll just come up with a reason with it. And that makes it unfun. It's like, I want to see the unknown, right? I want to know what's going to happen. And I like hearing what it could be, what it might be, but it's definitely, we don't we can't be definitive about it,
I
right?
also don't mind hearing no and having a good reason for the no.
Yeah. And
Right.
they've opened me up to a few things. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't like the SLS camera. I didn't realize that was it's a gaming device, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. And then I'm like, oh,
Yep,
so.
yep.
But then of course I'm like, but it was showing the figures where there wasn't anything. So I'm like, well, how do you explain that? You know. So I guess there is a follow up. But I take something away. There's been a few times where we've showed them stuff, and they're like, this was better than I thought. They'll say that, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take that.
Take that.
Take
sure.
it.
What?
Take it.
Yeah. What have you pushed back on, even if not verbally out loud to yourself? Like, no, man, I was there. That was weird. Was there a moment in the show where like they said this is this, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a few times I will, like, if it's ever an experience that one of our crew members have, I'll always be like, look them in the eye and tell them they didn't hear that. So we'll do that, and because there's a few times. Yeah, where you're like, but I was there. It was like I was so scared, and I think that's like the whole part. They're always like, Kristie, push back. I sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just go with it, and they're like, no, we really gotta, go back and forth with them. So that's always been really fun.
Do you feel in these different locations? Now, do you get the history of them before you go? I assume so. You sort of know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
Do you think knowing that history, this might be I don't know how you answer. This might be a tough question to answer, because do you feel going into these places automatically changes your vibe about going in? Like, the Shanley had bootleggers and there was brothels and a kid died in a well, versus you're going into a library where it might be, it's not like 27 bodies are in there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a different, you walk in with a different expectation. Did you think that creates a different experience for you?
I could see what you're saying. But to me, if somebody just says like, oh yeah, that place is haunted already, I'm like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. I'm just like on edge, like anything. And that library, they like had a lot of the lights off. That was, on all these things, on all these shoots, I'm always paired up with somebody. I'm just like, I like won't go anywhere on my own. And except for the bathroom. And even then I'll try to hold it all night.
Well, it's funny you say that, because that is actually my biggest issue with the paranormal. You say the word haunted, and automatically a place is, scary and freaky. But in reality, there are a bunch of places that are what I'd like to say beautifully haunted. The Summers Mansion down in Cape May, the Terrytown House Estate in Terrytown, the Ride Playland, the Boardwalk, that whole, you go to those places and there are so many different spirits, and there's activity, and there's conversations to be had. Nothing scary, nothing evil, nothing horrible. It's still haunted. It's just not push it down the stairs haunted.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the difference.
If they said, hey, we're going to a place where like demons, I would be like, oh, no.
Right.
But yeah, beautifully haunted. I could see that. It's just spirits trying to get through,
I keep telling John, it's like, why can't someone find me like a Four Seasons that's haunted? You know what I mean? Like, why is every place haunted, like cold, dark, like abandoned, an asylum?
That's what I'm saying. The two of the most pretty places I've ever gone to. Going to the the Southern Mansion in Cape May at Christmas time is wild. What makes it even more wild is when the spirits are just so highly active, playing with the decorations, having conversations about people being there. Same thing with the Terrytown House Estate. Go to the Terrytown House Estate. Just being there, the place is beautiful. Hearing the spirits talk about the history. And they move objects in there. They'll knock on the door. They'll play with the doors. Just wild stuff. And these are beautiful places.
Well, let's talk about these 4 places that she's trying to promote, though, first and foremost.
Well, no, I'm taking notes.
Take notes. See, John's got a ton.
John might be a part of season 3. We don't know.
Now, the Shanley is open as a haunted hotel. Like the Shanley's business is being a haunted hotel, right? That's their angle. is that what Kingsland Manor is? It's sort of a tour, like that's sort of an architectural place.
No, it's more of like a cool old estate. They give historical tours. I think people can have like a party there, rent things out. So
but it is meant for, it is just for visiting in that sense. It's not a function. It's not like it's functioning as something else and then it's also haunted.
Yeah, I mean, they do tours, like daily or I think weekend tours, like, hey, the history of this place. But and then they have the.
Oh, so they do both. They have like history tours and
I don't even know.
tours.
I think it's just paranormal teams that will go. I don't think they do haunted, but you know what? I'll have to look into that. I thought I knew everything.
But then like the library in the back room, is the back room still open as a bar?
Yeah. Okay, so the library. Oh, also that library packed on a Saturday night. Like we went there on a Saturday night. It was like closing time at like 5. I think we got there. And it was so many people there. It is like the place to go, which is great. I love that people.
But like for what? Like to study?
People
or like to
are
really read books?
Or books. They have different programs, giant chessboard. I mean, you got to go to the Middletown Library.
Okay.
And there were so many people like there on a Saturday. Big children's department. So I even brought my kids inside. For that one, I stayed the night, in a hotel. But the kids, so they. And of course, they were so scared. I don't want to go inside. I'm so scared.
Yeah, of course they're scared.
You're just going to be, we're not even started. There's people like still checking out books, kids, So, that was their experience.
Meanwhile, the guest reader is a spirit. No.
Yeah, exactly.
But the back room. Oh, I want to spend some time talking about that. The back room is a speakeasy in New York, but like a real speakeasy. You hear
so it's still functioning. It's still an open bar.
Yeah,
like it's still an opening, functioning bar.
Yeah, so it was the back of Ratner's, which was a deli, and so there was the deli, and then in the back there was this, the back of Ratner's, and it was a speakeasy. And I mean, some big names from the Prohibition-era were said to have frequented there. And the owner was great. He, told us all about the history. He knew so much because he knew, he knew the family and, when he took over and all of that, so he knew a lot of the history beforehand. But that place was really cool and so popular as well. So it was shut down for a private event that day. We got in there early and then the private event was happening. But we were trying to tape different things. And you literally have to go in between. You really have to know where you're going. It's like in between two buildings. And then you go on this gate and you go down some stairs and then you go up. Like it's a lot to get to. And we were trying to tape different things and people would knock and they're like all dressed up. They want to come in. And we're like, oh, I'm sorry. They're like closed. And they're like, really? And I'm like, I don't even work there. I'm like, I'm sorry. And some people are even tourists and they're like, we only have one more night. Me, I'm like, oh, well, maybe you should come in. But we were busy doing stuff, but it's popular. And I was talking to other people too, and it's a beautiful place, like a Victorian type setting. They serve their drinks in teacups and they have a fire. We actually went there on Friday the 13th. And then there's a back room to the back room. So you push this bookcase and then you're in that area.
That's fun.
Oh, and the amount of celebrities that have been there too. Pearl Jam, apparently like opening night, maybe of that bar. Pearl Jam's been there. Adele, like all these people. So that was a really cool experience that so many people, and I don't even know if everyone that goes there knows the haunted part, So that was really cool.
That is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It seems haunted.
Yeah. I mean,
like that seems like a place.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know about taking your kids to a haunted library, though. Someone's going to call CPS on you.
As long as they're learning. As long as they get some education, why not, right?
Bring your kids to work day. It's like, that's not what they thought. They thought they were going to like the news and see like a news station, maybe ride around with some cops or something. Like, mom's a journalist in the city. And it's like, no. We're going to Middletown. We're going to go to this library.
Yeah.
It's got ghosts in it. Have fun.
They
have
had
fun. You go over
fun.
there.
They had more
go
fun.
Go read over there, kids.
Yeah, the Hilton. We stayed at some Hilton with a pool, an indoor pool. They were like all about that pool. They still talk about
it.
Oh,
sure. Well, this is very exciting, Kristie. I mean, it's okay. I want to ask you this, and we asked you this the first time you were on. And I'm going to ask you again. I don't remember your answer, so I'm going to have fun going back and looking at it. So, but I like to ask this question to begin, just to get a baseline for where everyone's coming from. Kristie, what do you think spirits are?
Ooh,
What do you think?
you get right
are?
into it. You get right into it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I've always thought it's a sort of presence. I think, initially I thought a spirit is like, boo, you see something, I'm picking up a bottle. But the older I get, and then probably definitely after doing this project, I feel like it can be different things for a lot of people. And especially the people I've met through this project, it can feel really, heavy at times, a spirit, a feeling, maybe a touch, so it means something to different people.
But what does it mean to you?
I guess a spirit, I would say a presence that you just can't explain.
Now that you've done this again, and there was some time between the first time, can you tell me what do you think spirits are?
Oh, I was like, I can't, that's the question you asked. What do I think spirits are?
And has it changed maybe? We'll see.
I think spirits are, I would say something from the other side trying to communicate.
All right. So there's another side. Now there's another side, right? Kristie's like, now she's saying there's another side. No, but it's interesting, right? The more you get into it, and this is a bad word, and I don't mean to use the word coincidences because I agree with John. It's not, but you start to see these things and these patterns and these quote unquote coincidences, and you start to realize like, it's just too often. It's like, how can that be
a coincidence?
To be a coincidence, but it's, why is this happening here now, then, with this person, with the, why did your cameraman who just lost his mother having these moments, these answers, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that's.
Why is it that we go on this show or, why is it that we get all these recommendations of places to go and then things actually happen to us there? That's wild, and a lot of it, like when we were in the library, we were in this one section for a while and nothing was happening, so sometimes there's a lot of sitting and waiting and, John, maybe you have that happen too. And so we were like, okay, we'll move on. And then I'm like, oh, is this going to be the place where we're like, ooh, we need to book another place? But then stuff started happening. We went, it was. Yeah.
Well, I look at that as part of the experience, right? If I go to a location and every time it's just like high activity, especially a location that I don't have control over, I'm going to get suspicious. I'm going to be like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? Who's pulling the strings somewhere? Right? No, seriously, it's just like the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's good to go to some places and have it be sometimes quiet.
Yeah.
Something will still come through. Something will still do something. But it's great data because I look at it all as, data, taking it in and whatnot when I do my documentation.
Kristie spoiled. She's like, I want some ghosts. We got the
want
crew.
Things moving.
I want things moving. I've been to the best haunted places in the tri-state area, and we've had some shit happen. And Middletown, Connecticut. You better deliver the goods. I'm in New York City. We're in the big leagues. You want to step up and come into the show. You better start shaking some books off these shelves. And then she's gonna bounce and she's gonna bump them and bring on another location. This is New York. We don't mess around with Middletown unless they bring the goods.
There was this one of the first ones we had filmed. It was another Connecticut one. And they were like, if you're here, drop this book. I was like, oh my gosh, if that book drops. I was really afraid then. But now I think I'm more open. I'm like, okay, well, I got all my friends here. I'm protected. Right. But yeah, season 3, we're scouting places already. We've heard like haunted lighthouse. We're looking into a lot. So
cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's
well, Kristie, look, I want to thank you for coming back on, telling us about Haunted Tri-State. It's a really good series you guys make. I mean, it is. It's well done. And I think
one of the best areas for it.
One of the best areas for it.
Yeah.
And it's got the skepticism angle, even though, I question it and I question those guys, it's the right angle for a news version of this world, right? It's a well done piece. It's what makes it different than every other ghost show. It's experiencing it through your eyes as a new person to the space. It's well done in that way. It's like I said, you get the history, you get the experience, and you get some answers at the end of, what if, like, what could it be? Which is what a balance, which is what you expect to watch a paranormal show coming out of a news station, or what you'd hope to expect.
Yeah.
I think you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
We love having you on, and I really thank you for giving us your time again today.
Yeah. Oh, and we're getting ready to
thank
have
you so much.
Yeah, no, and we're getting ready to have a marathon because coming up, it's like halfway to Halloween. And so we're going to do like all 8 episodes that we've aired. They're going to air on News 12. You can watch us streaming into TV. That's a news station we have. So there are lots of channels and ways to watch that marathon. Can you believe halfway to Halloween's coming up?
It's crazy how fast we lose the school's almost done. It's like, it's nuts. All right, we got to get into that whole thing. All right, Kristie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let you go.
Thank you so much. It was great
Remember,
having you on again.
We'll anytime you want, just let me know. And you just leave that browser window open until it says upload complete. And, keep those attachments away. Don't bring them home.
I will. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. We'll see ya.
Bye.
She's fun. And hopefully you'll get on board with one of those in the near future. And hopefully she'll give you a call. Because I think, you've got some of those spots.
You never know.
You never know. That'll be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Let's dive into
I would also think it would be cool to tag along, right? Like, and not, instead of going to like one of the spots I always go to a brand new spot with them, almost like, like they're bringing in an investigator on their team type deal.
Yeah. She's bringing it, like she mentioned. Yeah. It's funny, like, we know Scotty. We know who Scotty the Medium is. You know him.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty, we're waiting for you to come on the show. But
I stopped waiting. He'll come on when.
But we like Scotty. So he was there at the Shanley.
Scotty's great.
9 Lives Paranormal, who I've spoken to quite a bit, and you're going to be at their the HoloCon in Jersey in August, at the end of August. So we'll have them on. We'll have them on right before that to do some last minute promotion.
Yeah, we had somebody in the chat last night brought that up.
Yep.
They're like, oh, I can't wait to see you at the Holo.
Yeah.
It took me a second, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's coming up in August.
Yeah. These things are planned so far in advance. For you, it's like, we got to keep you sharp up to the last.
Oh, you got to keep, yeah, exactly. Think of me as a penciler. Think of, a pencil. Yeah. I said a penciler. A pencil. A penciler. Watch out for the pencilers.
You're like a Batman villain.
The
penciler. It's like, who's the penciler?
Number 1 or number 2.
Right, yes. It's like, how do we stop the penciler?
How do we stop the penciler? You got to sharpen me like a pencil. There we go.
It's so silly.
The penciler. Dude, that's actually really funny.
That is funny. All right. Hey, chat. What's going on in there? We got a good little crowd here tonight. Anybody have any questions? Again, that was Kristie Reeter from News 12. We will, if you look in the link tree in our bio, she's there, and the link to the YouTube channel is there, and you should check out these Haunted Tri-States. It's 20 minutes. Karina, yes, Scotty the Medium, we're big fans of his. Most of this chat, you know what's funny about this chat, this community is all they do is say hi to each other, like, hey, so-and-so, and hey, this, and it's like, hi, you guys. It's like they're all just talking to themselves. It's like, this is,
and they're listening. They're listening.
This is our show. It's like, don't talk to each other. It's like, pay goddamn attention.
Talk to us.
You look at us. You look at us. To talk to each other.
I'm talking to you.
What do you think? We're wasting our time here so you can be like, hi. To each other? It's outrageous. These guys, John. The rudeness. Let's see. I'm scrolling up here looking for some names. David from Clearwater Beach, Florida. Welcome. I don't know if you're still here, but if you were, you just got a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a lot of classics. Christina's a big fan. She comments a lot, very engaged. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the chat right now. Yeah, you guys got any questions for us?
Chumming was here. I just noticed them. Chumming with the Spirits. Yeah? Cool. Hey, guys. Good to see you. Glad you showed up. They were bringing up the Shanley Hotel where the Estes method was. That'd be so fun for you and I to go there. Wouldn't it be fun, John, to do like our big group Estes method at the
Shanley? Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be wild. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We'll have to talk to them, obviously, and all that. Because they're very strict on, investigators and people doing paranormal there. Rightfully so. It's an active hotel.
A lot of people do go there and do investigations. So.
Oh, yeah. They just don't, they don't have full reign of the place. right? So doing a group Estes method, that takes some planning.
Yeah, they must have a ballroom.
Yeah.
Because I would love to take
your ballroom
but
out,
I would love to
please.
take that picture, like that famous picture at the end of The Shining, when they're all, like the one, and then like you see Jack Nicholson standing in there. You know what I'm talking about, when they zoom in and he's in the picture. But it would be us. So we would have to do it. We'd all have to be in tuxedos, and we would all have to. And then
dude, that whole let me tell you something. That whole universe, whether Stephen King planned that or realized all the thread connections to it, is genius.
Well, he's a genius,
right?
dude. Stephen King is a genius.
Yeah, like Dr. Sleep, The Tower, even the recent Welcome to Derry. The whole thing was. I think we spoke about this.
Yeah, I liked it.
Live, or me and you had this conversation.
I don't know.
The whole thing is all tied in with.
Or was it? Is it a recalled memory, like Total Recall, where you're
dude, it could be this. We could have had this conversation in the multiverse somewhere. It's a possibility.
What's up, JD? I went on the Chumming with the Spirits live. They had a live last night. I like those guys. They're good guys. They actually like make stuff. I think I got to talk to them about it. They like make logos. I don't know what their day business is, but it's cool. But they're fun. They're a couple fun fellas. Again, Chumming with the Spirits. We had an interview with them.
Yeah, it was cool.
Great podcast.
Yeah, it was good.
What else? Anybody else have any questions? Anybody else want to know what's going on in the world?
I didn't even know Jack Nicholson had a son.
Luann, thank you for the great live. Instagram, you guys got any questions? I can see you as well. If you're watching,
I can only see the YouTube chat.
Okay, I can see them all. They're all mixed in.
Yeah. I can only see the YouTube chat. What's up, guys?
Have you seen Nicholson's son? No.
No.
Is he a ghost?
I hope not. That's sad. Comes out, looks like the Joker.
Well, Nicholson's going to be a ghost soon, I think. The poor guy.
Yeah, how old is he?
He's out there, man. He retired from acting for a while. It's like, can't really do it. Can't really do it anymore.
Well, yeah, it happens, Yeah.
Yeah. One of the greats.
Think about it. All the bands we listen to are now considered classic rock. So it shows you.
You're old. I can't take credit for this joke. Some comedian said it, but it was one of those things where you're really old when that band that you used to listen to as a teenager that your parents hated is now playing in the grocery store as you're walking through the aisles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in the grocery store the other day and they're playing Welcome to the Jungle and like Ralph. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just so, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I do.
That was, and now it's it's just part of the, okay.
I was like the other day, I was forced to listen to the regular radio. So I listened to the classic rock station on, a Metallica song came on. I'm like, really? Yeah, I guess this is considered classic rock. And a freaking Nirvana song comes on. And I'm like, well, I guess that's considered classic rock too.
Just 30 years ago. Metallica's 40 years old. Metallica's 45 years old. They've been around for 45 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The rest of them, those other guys are 30 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, they're old, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crazy to think about. And just think about, so then here's my question. What is all the classic rock when we were growing up? What is that considered now? Is that oldies? Is that like rock
I don't know.
oldies?
When does it get moved down?
Yeah, when does it get moved down, dude?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's real. Yeah, like thinking about what do you consider Led Zeppelin, AC/DC? And then what about the bands that are still out there that are still making music? Like, what do you consider Judas Priest? They released a new album last year, I believe. It's like, wait a minute, It's really interesting to think about.
Maybe it's only it'd have to be like who designs the programming for these radio, because for us, I think our classic rock will always be classic rock and we'll always call Nirvana grunge.
Yes.
Because that's our generation, but does like your kids call Nirvana?
Yep. And how much of that music is now called emo?
Or would they just say who?
Like, I can't tell you how many times like somebody younger generation around me will be like, oh yeah, that emo band. And I'm like, homie, Alice in Chains is not an emo band. relax, pump the brakes. But to their generation, it's considered emo, even though it's not. My
That's
Chemical Romance.
Well, that's just a lack of
Emo
education.
bands, right?
That's just a lack of education. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have an education problem in this country, and it starts with
especially
music.
with music. Yeah, it starts with music, dude. Hell yeah. It starts with music.
It starts with music.
I
It
agree.
doesn't stop.
Nope.
It does not
I
stop.
agree 100%.
So bad.
It is wild. It's elevator music.
It's
now.
elevator music. I'm saying I'm going through.
Yeah.
Get your smoking
So
jacket.
crazy.
Yes.
So crazy. It's so crazy to think about.
I don't know, man.
And what about and tie it back into spirits? Like, what do you think spirits think of music of today when they hear it?
I guess it depends on when they died.
Like, I'll give you an example. When I used to leave the static cam on, the static stream on here, around Christmas time, I used to make a whole Christmas playlist of Christmas music, and then, leave it on in the fireplace room and leave the live on. So I had the spirit boxes going and the Christmas music going. At some point, the spirits would literally switch off the Christmas music and put on regular music. And it was like, wait a minute, the playlist wasn't up. There's there's hours of music in here. Like, wait a minute, hold on, time out, It was actually pretty funny. They turn off the Christmas music.
They had taste. But what they put on is the question.
I can't remember.
Laura Mack, yes, My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance is a great band. They're very performative. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're great.
That guy delivers.
The Black Parade is probably one of...
That guy delivers the goods. Well, that lead singer delivers it. He brings it like 1,000% every time he opens his mouth.
No.
Like he never...
That's not even my generation of music.
No.
Like when I was a teenager, that wasn't... Well, actually, that's not true. When I was about to leave high school or already just left high school, that's when like My Chemical Romance and like emo was big, So that's when it was like really big. But I couldn't get into a lot of the bands. My Chemical Romance, definitely an exception. Do great bands, like hands down.
What's the newest band you've heard of that you like?
All right. So I'm throwing this in there as new. Well,
better be new.
Volbeat, even though they've been around for a bit now.
Yeah, they've been around. Okay, I like Volbeat.
Yeah, but they haven't been. They what?
Are they Dutch or some shit? Like there's.
Yeah. Volbeat, Ghost.
I love Ghost.
Ghost.
I love Ghost.
And I've seen them. They're awesome.
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally satanic, and I love everything about it.
I love it. I love every second of it.
Every second.
Especially just growing up, with Catholicism shoved down your throat. All of their music has so much highlights of that.
Oh, I love it.
It's not even fun.
Ghost is great.
Great. Bad Omens. They're decent.
Is that new?
Yeah, that's new. Newish, right? Other than that, like I don't hear any like real good like rock or metal that I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Other than what older bands or new music that they're coming out with,
There's just one playlist I listen to. There's just one playlist on Spotify I listen to. It's called Dirty Rock, and they have some bands that I like
Dirty Rock.
Yeah, because it's like that. It's it's like a Royal Blood.
Oh, Royal Blood is great. Yep. That's you consider them a newer band. Royal Blood.
There's another. Hold on, let me pull this up because I gotta find it. But
I stood next to the guitarist of Led Zeppelin without even realizing. What's his name? Jimmy Page.
Why? Because you thought it was an old woman?
No, well, yeah, but I stood right next to him.
He looks like an old woman now.
This is like, true story, 100%. I stood right next to him at a Royal Blood concert in New York City had no idea it was him. No idea it was him jamming out to Royal Blood when I saw him. No idea. Until one of my buddies is like, yo, dude, that's Jimmy Page. And I'm like, what? And then we looked into it, and he's a fan of the band. So, but pretty interesting. Which they're a great band.
Oh, Goodbye Jane. Goodbye June. Goodbye June. I like. That's like a fun.
What's that other Led Zeppelin-esque band that came out? They have this song. It's
Greta Van Fleet. Greta Van Fleet.
No, the other one. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on the band? That one song's called Electric. The other song is they're very showy too. Like they get on stage and they just like.
You sure it's not Greta Van Fleet? They sound just like Zeppelin.
No, it's not Greta Van Fleet. It's I can't remember the name of them. It's not Greta Van Fleet though, but they do sound just like Zeppelin.
They sound just like. I mean, they really are trying to bring it back.
Yeah. But music-wise, there's not.
Dude, you know what I've gotten into? I got into real instrumental funk music, and there's this thing. There's this playlist called Fake Music, and they take and they just I don't know if they use AI, but they've like turned songs that you love into like instrumental funk, and it's
that's great.
dope. It's so great.
Is it good?
Yeah, and when I'm it feels like driving music. So we're in our cars a lot in LA, right? So I'm like in there, and it just feels like, it's just like this good old school funk, you know. Laura Mack, I grew up bowling for Soup, Paramore, Green Day, and Panic at the Disco. I love Green Day.
I like everything. I like Green Day up until a certain point. To be honest with you, it has nothing to do with their political views or anything. It's just like the music just started falling off for me.
How dare you?
But I do like Green Day.
JD at Chumming says Spirits, like he's been on excursions where the Spirits have responded to the Backstreet Boys and
who doesn't?
Pink Pony Club.
Yeah,
those are both great. Those are both great jams. I always love this is part of the thing too that I love about the Bruce brothers, right? Like Noah versus the Paranormal and Jake, that whole Spirit, and then they blast music at them.
They blast the music.
They go on the offensive, dude. Those guys go on the offense. It makes me laugh. I mean, when they come on, dude, I just find it hysterical. They do some good stuff.
Yeah.
That guy Jake just came out with a great video. Who we interviewed, where he went to all the original spots of Ghost Adventures.
Yes, I saw that video. Yep.
Really good, guys. Jake Bruce was on the show, and if you watch it, then he's got clips, but then he put a really well made hour together, a real well made episode of, getting some real reactions. I mean, you can't hate all these newcomers, dude. They're doing some. I don't know how new.
There's a lot of hate for them, dude. There's a
for the young guy.
Lot of hate.
The young guys do some good stuff, and it's and it's they're funny. I mean, how do you reinvent this genre? You know what I mean? But it's
there's a lot of hate for
Laura Mack. No, Laura Mack saying Rush. She's asking the question. The answer is no.
Rush.
Listen, let's get into. We want to get into Rush for a minute, guys. Then we got to jump. No, here's the thing with Rush.
And we're not making fun of Canada.
Maybe a little, but
this has nothing to do with Canada.
Obviously, super talented as musicians.
Brian
some
Adams
of the greatest
is amazing,
or probably some of the greatest musicians you're ever going to find. However, their constant time signature changes. It makes it almost too complicated to truly enjoy. That's why you barely see any girls at their shows. You can't dance to it. They don't, it's just sort of a whole, like, I was in a rush for this much of a time when I was in high school because I was like, this is really great. And then when you're driving alone in your car and you actually start having emotions as an adult, your go-to isn't, I'm going to put on that Rush song to make me feel. Yeah. You're just not doing it. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that's, dude, it's there's a difference between getting kind of progressive and then way too progressive, right? That's why progressive bands never really go anywhere. Like, look at Dream Theater. Look at,
No, dude, it's too complicated. Too complicated to enjoy. And it's like, I can't, and I get into this argument constantly. Like, look, I loved Pearl Jam in the 90s. That was my college, era, right? 91, 92. And now as an adult, that shit does not speak to me at all. And they are, to me, one of the most this has nothing to do with their talent. And Eddie Vedder might be one of the greatest frontmen in the history of singing and rock. His voice is like magic. The songs are unfun. I don't want to ever be in my car and put on a song about a kid.
Popular songs are unfun, dude. They're popular songs.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Songs like "Do the Evolution,"
but their most popular song was the cover of like "Last Kiss" about the car accident, and it's like, and then you got Jeremy. Dude, did I ever tell you this? Did I ever tell you this? I go to Jazz Fest in New Orleans. We can end on this unfun story, but it's like we go to Jazz Fest in New Orleans with my boys, and they were headlining one of the nights, and you'd think, what are they going to do as their closing act? And it's like when it goes and Jazz Fest, if anybody who's ever been, ends relatively early because they want people going back on Bourbon Street and partying, right? They don't want you out, they want you back as fast as possible spending money. So these guys come out and dude, they wheeled out Steve Gleason, who from the New Orleans Saints, who's got Lou Gehrig's disease, and he's on stage while they do their last song. And I don't know about you, man, but that shit just is not fun. I feel for what's more tragic than a professional athlete who's trapped in his own mind, in his own body, right? And to me, that is not joyful.
No.
And I'm not there for that. And if that makes me cold, then I'm freezing because I don't care because it's not. Now, the next night, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the complete opposite. Maybe the most fun band, and they're still fun. And everything they do is fun, and it's dancing, and it's chicks, and it's fun, and it's great. And Pearl Jam, it's like suicide, it's death, it's beatings.
Isn't that insane, dude? They started in the 70s, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, they started in high school. They're not, it's, they were, well, they're like 10 years older than me, so they couldn't have been the 70s per se. I mean, they met when they were 13.
It's like it was like 78, 79 when they formed their band.
Yeah.
Which is wild, wild.
So,
but,
you know what I mean?
Like, well, I'll give you the prime example of this. Something that just passed, it's almost been a year now. In the summer it will be, was Ozzy's final concert, dude. There was nothing more sad seeing him strapped to his throne so he wouldn't fall off. And all that man wanted to do was get up out of his chair.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call, right?
Dude, but it was great. He sounded great. It was just heartbreaking to see, like, hey, he's trying to give it his all. He knows it's his last. He's doing his thing. Same thing when I saw Motorhead's last concert. What's it called? One of their last big ones. Lemmy couldn't even play anymore. The famous Ace of Spades.
Yeah, sure.
This was him on the bass. Bum, ba, bum. Bum, ba, bum. That's all. That was the bass line. He couldn't do anything else. Like, dude, it's heartbreaking to see that. You're like,
there's a certain point. There's a certain point. But anyway, I would still
that's
say
a nice low note to end it.
I know. I would still say that's better than Steve Gleason coming out there and like in Lou Gehrig's. I mean, it's just like, oh god.
That's like seeing what's his face from Frighteners and Teen Wolf. What's his name? Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah, but he's I know it's not this to me. It's not. I mean, he's still. Look, that guy's Michael J. Fox is an American treasure, and it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
such a great actor too.
So
man.
and he's still great. I mean, he was just in. He had a bit in Shrinking on Apple, which is great. He's still.
Did he?
Yeah. It's a great show. He can still.
All right.
That is, I don't know. Just something about the message. It doesn't connect with me anymore for that bit for certain bands. But anyway, listen, guys. Thank you for coming by. If you haven't done it already yet, please follow us on all of the platforms that we're on. Spotify, Apple. Leave a comment, guys. The comments are great. They really help us out a lot. Like, share, please, here on Splintered Spirits. We appreciate you. We want to thank Kristie Reeter for coming back on. Check out News 12. Just type in Haunted Tri-State.
Tri-State.
Into YouTube, and you can check out those episodes. They're really great. I mean, she does a good job. That whole channel, those producers do a great job. We love having her on. And if you're coming in late and you're like, oh, damn, I missed it. Don't worry. This will be available tomorrow wherever podcasts are. And you can listen to it there. And listen to two guys talk about music like we're sitting at a bar, like we know anything we're talking about.
Well, we know a little bit.
We're fans. We're fans.
We've both been in bands.
It's true.
We've opened up for other bands that have some sort of notoriety.
That is true.
We've been in the what's it called? We stewed around a little bit, We did. Listen, Gary, beware the penciler.
Beware the penciler, guys. That's your new Halloween. That's going to be the costume this Halloween is the penciler. The penciler.
If it's not number 2,
rises.
you won't know what to do.
Don't go number 2.
What do you used to call those tests you needed number 2 pencils?
All of every test. I can't remember having. Could you imagine?
But what are they
number
called?
1 pencil?
They're called something. They were called not.
Well, yeah, the SAT. I mean, everything had the SATs. Everything.
Yeah, but that certain style that only reads the number 2 is called the elect.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know what it's called, but it was it had to be. They were they were such sticklers about the number 2.
Yeah, well, because it only reads the lead from the number 2. That's what it was. There was a certain type of style of testing. The Electra something. I don't know, number 2, the penciler. All right, everybody.
Thank you all for coming by. It has been a real pleasure. Thank you. And we will see you. Oh, shit.
Shit!
If you didn't watch the Gary Galka episode, it's out now. Wonderful episode. The inventor of the SB7, the thing, the REM pod, the ML meter. That's out. And who's on Tuesday's episode? Tessa Groff.
That's right.
Big episode, guys.
That's right.
Big episode.
Yup.
We have her, and right back to back following her episode, Nick Groff, the creator of Ghost Adventures. So we've got both the Groffs, the paranormal power couple. We're starting with Tessa, psychic medium. I mean, amazing woman. Really fun conversation, really interesting conversation, and is a big part of this paranormal world, you know, and the Groffs are starting a little mini empire of theirs, you know, really building something up again.
So.
A family business, like the Partridge Family of ghosts, I think.
Yeah.
But they're great. They're such great people. So we're excited to have her on, and Nick, all coming up in May. So back to back to back to back. So guys, stick around. And again, thank you. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Well, that's it for another episode of Splintered Spirits. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay curious.